Hello and welcome to Tarot with Tanya. This is 7 cards for 7 days, and we are looking at the week of Monday, April 22nd through Sunday the 28th. So thank you so much for being here. Welcome back if you've been here before. And I'll talk a little bit about the week's astrology here at the beginning, then we'll look at the cards, and I'm using the Morgan Greer deck today. And then we'll end with an oracle card from the Tree Keeper's Oracle. So a couple of big things this week. First, we have the full moon in Scorpio on Tuesday. And that will, here, at least in central U.S., will occur in the evening. And, anytime that moon is full, of course, we know we can have lunacy and be affected by that. Who knows, could be very mellow, but doubt it. Because Scorpio is also pretty intense sign. It is associated with finances, other people's monies, death, sex, good things like that, transmuting poisons. And it can range from, the sting of the scorpion or the serpent, through the eagle, and the highest symbol of it, or glyph, he might say, symbol would be right, would be the phoenix that rises from the ashes. So could be an intense day. We've had the eclipse not that long ago. We just had the Uranus and Jupiter conjunction in Taurus, and then of course Scorpio is opposite of Taurus. So there's a lot of activation going on. We'll see what happens. But if people seem extra sensitive on Tuesday, or you find yourself with deep feels, that's probably why, because Scorpio is watery, emotional, and very deep, intense emotions are possible. Then on Thursday, Mercury turns direct. Yay, that tends to help us all. There have been communication glitches or little technological issues, like, wow, I had a big one last week, with trying to, upload videos. It just took forever, and then it's like, oh yeah, that Mercury thing. So things may still feel a little wonky on Thursday. By Friday, they should start to probably get better in those areas of communication, technology, traveling, small trips, things like that. And then on Sunday, the 28th, we have Mars conjunct Neptune. And Mars is all about the action, and it's working its way through Pisces right now, so that really tends to tone it down. And then when it goes into Neptune, which is all misty and undefinable, and all about creativity and being okay with the unknown, things like that, they don't necessarily make a happy couple. So it could produce some anxiety, some restlessness, maybe a little confusion, some kind of lack of clarity. And in the worst expression of it, most of us will stumble around in it, no big deal. But if somebody's already deceptive, you want to watch out for that. Another good part could be intensified imagination, so it could be a very good day for creativity. In terms of a little bit on the darker side also, it can activate, or at least aggravate, let me put it that way, addictions. So we want to try to avoid overindulging that day. So that's our week astrologically. And in terms of the cards, I'm not going to lie, it's a little dicey this week. It's like there are definite energies to navigate. Nothing terrible or anything like that, but it just kind of feels like a lot of low-level stuff. We don't have any majors for the week, and we begin with earth, we end with fire, and those two cards also are royal cards or people cards. So could be sandwiched by some interactions with people or noticing some strong sort of tendencies or maybe archetypal tendencies in yourself, and I'll talk about what those are as we go through. And in terms of the elements, fire is the dominant one this week. So again, that could be, a bit to deal with. So strap in. All right, for Monday, we have the Page of Pentacles. And, pages tend to be messengers, bring in new information, perhaps a new perspective. Letters, emails, whatever these days. But this one is also of Earth, a pentacle. And so it's going to be something concrete, not just an idea, but something, like I said, that is concrete. And again, that's our Monday. Beginning our week, and it could be a person who comes in with, obviously a person is tangible, a person who comes in with some new information or energy to make something tangible happen. When we get to Tuesday, we've switched from earth to water, and they're both considered feminine elements, but here we have the Five of Cups. So we went from the solid, earthy energy to the more emotional, psychic, intuitive energy in the cups. All the fives connect to the Hierophant, and we have a couple of fives this week. So, there are human lessons. I mean, there are always human lessons, but there's a bit of an emphasis on that this week. They'll pass quickly. They're minors, but they are here. And, you see a sort of castle in the background, and the person looking, the body is aimed that direction, but the person is looking down at the spilled cups. And, I assume we're supposed to think of that as wine or something with that reddish color, but it looks a lot like blood to me too. But you have the two standing cups behind the person. So I've always connected this card, when you see it depicted this way, with those two cups to the side or behind the being, that love is there. And remember that if we focus on those three spills, it can feel like loss. Disappointment is one name for this card. But if we turn around, we can see that there are still two full cups, wonderfully there. And, available for when this person turns away from whatever might seem disappointing in the moment. And, that could be, you need to feel the feelings and then, turn around and see what's still good, what's still working. So that was Tuesday also, when the full moon is in Scorpio. So, when you've got that kind of energy, you want to look for those positives and not indulge in the negatives. So it makes sense to me that card came up for that day. Wednesday, we move into the air element through the swords. And here we have the Four of Swords. And there's a death-like aspect to this card. That is not what it stands for. It often is seen as a kind of meditation. But you'll see a knight sometimes fully laid out. Here, of course, we just get the helmet, the upper part, the shoulders a little bit. And there's a feeling of restfulness, a need to take a time out, to take a break. And fours are the earth number, so it's very stable. Can be stuck. But in this case, wind blows, air moves, so I think it's more of just letting things calm down and taking some rest. By Thursday, we are into the fire. And as I mentioned, that's the dominant element for this week. So here, of course, you see a person holding a big bundle, 10, of course, of these wands. And it can be feeling overburdened, like just too much going on. I got too many irons in the fire, too much responsibility, definitely need a break. Or being on the other side of that. So that's something that hopefully we can have some control over. First, of course, recognizing it. And so when we see this as a card for a potential energy to deal with on Thursday, maybe you know, before that, ask yourself, what is causing me to feel, if you do feel that way, overburdened? Do I feel like I have too much responsibility, or are there just too many things going on? And what can I let go of? Once I realized that years ago, after observing other people, I'm like, I do that too. I overburden myself in my own mind with my own energies and to-do lists and so forth. So this is a good card to remind us to not do that, that we really are in charge. And, you know, a lot of times anyway, we can put at least some of those burdens down and feel better. So hopefully that card is indicating you're getting on the other side of that. When we get to Friday, we're with another 4. So we have 2 4s and 2 5s this week. And this 4 is quite a bit different because of the element. So here, of course, it's water. You can see the cups. And the 3 are sitting toward, well, in the forefront. And then you see this sort of spiritual hand coming out from a kind of golden cloud here and offering another cup. And you have a kind of a green man, maybe green woman face here, looking toward that. And this card I've seen called boredom, luxury, as in almost coming to a place after the joy of the 3 of Cups, coming to a place in the 4 of Cups where it's almost like there's too much. It could be too much good, too much, just too much. And sort of not seeing almost what's really there. So there can be a little bit of an illusion quality to this card as well. I think one of the best ways to use it is just to try to anchor emotionally in some way, do something that feels very grounding, very secure, and also keep open to various options that might come up. So that was Friday. On Saturday, we're to that second 5 and back to the fire element, the wands. Now, this one isn't a particularly heavy card, but it can be contentious. You have I think it's interesting here when you have the hands, but you don't see the people. So it's kind of like everybody has a stick in there, everybody has a point of view, everybody has an energy. And, you know, is this going to be used in a mindful, helpful way, or is this just going to be people, you know, clashing their wands? So up to us to some degree, whether we respond to that kind of energy, we remove ourselves from that kind of energy, we have that energy within ourselves, we recognize it, or we don't. So, you know, it can be a little cranky, a little testy, just, or competitive. It can come out in those different ways. But remember, it's a 5 again, so connect to the Hierophant. So these are spiritual lessons for humans on the earth plane. And then finally, our Sunday card is the King of Wands. So as I said, we began with a royal card. We're ending the week with a royal card. And this one, the pages are the youngest members of the royals. The kings are representative of the strongest masculine expression of the energy. So he's a fiery person. He looks fairly peaceful here, except for the colors are quite vivid, strong. But this king, like say if he's interested romantically, he's going to want somebody who's pretty feisty also. He being, you know, just a general term here. Obviously it can, you know, refer to a male, female, whatever. So it's that masculine energy. So looking for a balancing feminine energy that's also pretty feisty, but over which he can have some dominance perhaps too, in a somewhat unconscious way. Now, used more consciously, it's really creative. It can get things done. It can take charge. So it could be a very good day to do projects like that have that kind of energy, or if you need to have a conversation with someone, realize that you can come on very strong, or maybe it's in the other person, they can come on strongly. But, you know, it's going to pass. It's an archetypal energy. It'll be there for the day and then move on. So that is our week. Again, yeah, some things to be mindful of and navigate through. So I hope this helps. I always do, and I always encourage to take what resonates and leave the rest behind. So we will finish with one of the Tree Keeper's Oracle cards, and this one is what I call a jumper. I was shuffling and it literally leapt out. So it's number 33, Keeper of the Wild. And I know these cards have, and the glare's bad too, they have very intricate details, even to the point where I got out a magnifying glass to see all the different details. So if you have a way to bring it in close, you might want to take a look at that. They are quite lovely, and of course it's a Tree Keeper Oracle, so they're all focused around a tree. And here you have a person kind of walking through two trees, I believe it's supposed to be, but they have connected above, and the animals are, mostly foxes, it looks like here, eager to see this Keeper of the Wild. The wild isn't just a place out there, it is also a place in here. You are related to elk and deer, butterfly and hummingbird, bison, gazelle, and tiger. The mountains live in your bones, the rivers in your veins, wildflowers grow along the chambers of your heart. You weren't born to pay bills and die, distracting yourself with the secondary satisfactions of house and car and happy hour. The time has come to unplug from your current matrix. Your mind is a savanna teeming with running wildebeests. Your heart is an ocean full of mighty whales and splendid dolphins. Your soul is a forest full of stories. The moon whispers late at night. Indulge your own nature and rewild your life. And I love that. And I heard someone say recently that, there's magic all around us, and I totally believe that. We just have to be open to it. So again, thank you for being here. If you're so inclined, please like, please share, please subscribe. That would do wonders for the channel. Thank you so much. And if you're interested in a personal reading, information will be below in the description box and at the end of the video. Have the best week you can, beloveds, and I'll see you next week.